What's up, y'all?
Hey, guys. Thanks for joining us every week.
Yes.
Some of you guys are like consistent viewers.
Yes.
And we just love it. We love your comments. And so if you're new, go ahead and subscribe and join us each week.
Exactly.
All right.
All right, y'all.
Just between
Live in Washington, D.C.
is love.
Listening to Just John and April.
There's no tricks. There's love. Just between. This is nothing.
Welcome to Just John and April,
There's no tricks.
the relationship podcast, your place to level up your intimacy. Lance J Radio Network, WOL in DC, and KIXI 880 AM in Seattle. We're excited to be here today again, hosting for Lance. What's up, babe?
What's up?
How are you?
I'm good.
You said don't forget to press the thing beforehand. And,
And you didn't press it.
Yeah. I did just do it right now. You know what I'm saying?
From Washington, D.C., you are listening to Just John and April on the Lance J Radio Network.
That's what you didn't hear before because I had music playing over it. Man.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm on my summer break as a teacher, and it's just, oh my goodness, it's just so good.
You definitely are different during this time. It's good for all of us, I
so
think.
good,
It's
man.
great. Are you feeling stress-free and carefree and all that stuff?
I'm actually at the point where I'm like, I should be thinking about something right now. Like, I should be doing something. I should be, you know what I mean? Like,
That's the first thing that comes across your mind when you're off is, man, shouldn't I be doing some work?
Yeah, like, shouldn't I be? So I got to just be free of that and enjoy because I'm about to be back to,
The summer break goes by so quickly.
It does,
I don't know
man.
why. Is it a full 2 months?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see.
You need to look and see.
Yeah,
'Cause maybe that's the problem. Maybe we think it's longer than it actually is. Maybe it's only like 6 weeks.
No, I think it might be a full 2 months.
Either way, it goes by really quick.
It
Maybe
does.
it's because we spend so much time doing stuff during the summer.
We do. We spend so
probably should
much
be
time
chilling
away.
more.
We
Yeah.
should. We
Probably shouldn't
haven't
travel as
had
much.
a staycation in a long time.
That's true. You're
We
right.
haven't.
That's true.
So we might want to do that one summer.
You're right. Maybe this summer.
Can't do it this summer. You already got 3 weeks.
You're right. And we already have
Booked.
plans. That's true. That's not good.
Yeah, but
Okay,
it's
let
good.
me ask you something. I saw an article today actually that was very interesting about a TikToker who basically, I guess, discovered she really wasn't trying to discover this. She posted something on TikTok, and the people in the comments pretty much figured out how you can tell when a guy you're dating already has a girlfriend.
Ooh. Okay, explain.
Okay,
I didn't read this.
So first of all, the person's name was Siri Lee, and she was in the bathroom at this guy's house that she is seeing, and she noticed some particular items. She first noticed his and her razors.
Ooh.
That made her think something.
Okay.
Then she saw Pantene shampoo. Then she saw Head and Shoulders 2-in-1, and then she saw some vanilla body scrub.
Oh my
And
goodness.
immediately she started thinking some things like, oh my goodness, why does this guy have this stuff?
Right.
And the clincher was that he had this lavender toilet spray. And when she complimented the toilet spray, he didn't know what she was talking about. So clearly, this is somebody else's stuff.
Bringing
You know
their
what I'm
stuff
saying?
to the house.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, the people in the comments all concluded, your man already has a girl.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, of course, you haven't dated.
Listen.
It's been so long since you dated that the rules of dating are very different now.
But
You know
I
what I'm
can
saying?
at least think about how I would feel in that situation.
Right.
But what I want to know from her is, like, did she just automatically say, he has another girlfriend, I'm done, like left and never, just ghosted him?
The article doesn't mention that.
Okay.
I don't know. So let's just make it you. If you're in that situation, what are you going to do? Are you going to approach the guy and say something to him about this? And how do you say it? Because I would imagine that the way that you say it, maybe the tone you use, would somehow suggest something and might determine what the response would be.
Right.
So what would you do?
Well, first of all, these days, guys use all kind of girl stuff.
That is
Guys
true.
use body scrubs.
Right.
They use hair products for women.
Right. That's
Now,
true.
his and her shave razor,
that might
be.
giveaway.
But I use
Right.
male razors all the time because I think they just up the price for women, and they
do.
they are all the same.
They do. I can get a huge amount of those same razors for like $10 less than that same amount. In fact,
it's
at
because
Sam's,
mine's pink and mine has
there's less of yours, and it'd be like 5. You have like 5. I get like 15.
And it is
there's
the
way
same
more
thing.
mine. Same exact thing.
No difference.
Right. Well, mine might actually be better, to be honest.
It might be, yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think again, I would say, men always use women's stuff nowadays.
Right.
Like,
so that wouldn't be a dead giveaway.
That wouldn't be a dead giveaway.
Right.
But maybe now when you come back, even with the spray, somebody could have given that to him and he just put it there because it was a gift.
All right. So I know you. So
Okay.
I know for a fact you're not letting this go. There's no way you're just not saying something about this.
No, I'm gonna say something.
Okay.
If
You're gonna say
especially
something. My question is,
somebody
what's
said
your-
to me,
what's
"Oh,
your
that's
tone?"
a sign."
Right.
So
What's your tone gonna be like?
Well, I wouldn't. Okay, if I'm just dating this guy, like first started dating.
The way they put it in the article, it said she was seeing this guy, so he wasn't even necessarily officially her boyfriend.
Okay.
Not that I know.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
If that's not officially my boyfriend,
Right.
I'm not coming out being like, "Why you got a girl razor in your," I'm not gonna come out like that because
Right.
that sounds like some jealous girl. Who,
Right. You don't want to do that.
No.
Yes.
But maybe like, "Oh, so you use women's razor?" Like make a joke out of it
Okay.
or something like
Yes,
that,
yes.
and then wait for the response because,
Okay.
like, if he responds defensively, then you're like, "Why has he been defensive? I just made a joke."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or then maybe like, "Oh shoot, I use that same Pantene." You like
Hey, can
that?
I borrow your Pantene?
Yeah, can I borrow?
I ran out of the exact same kind.
Or how do you like that brand? You
Right,
know,
right,
or
right.
I used to use Pantene. That took my hair out.
Right. And so
Is it doing that to yours?
So,
And then if he's like,
if he
I
just
don't know.
responds, then
If he just responds like, "Yeah, I really like the way it does,"
Right.
or if he
Right.
responds with,
Right.
and you're like, "That's not even
That's
his
not even
Pantene."
Pantene. Exactly. Right. Okay. So that what you're really saying then, based on your answer, which is really what we're talking about today, based on your answer, what you're really saying is tone matters.
Definitely.
How you
Oh my
say
goodness,
stuff
yes.
matters, and it could, if you have the right tone for the right circumstance, avoid conflict, or it could like stoke conflict.
Yes.
Maybe this might create a
Yeah,
situation.
because think about it. If I were to say, why do you have a girl razor in your shower?
right.
What are you doing with?
Right. That
I mean, you hear
tone
that tone?
communicates that you
I
are.
am checking him,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's like, you're not even my girl.
Right.
Like, why are you? But yeah.
Okay, so how
Tone definitely matters.
So tone definitely matters. Okay, so let's talk about that just for a second. How important is tone to you in our relationship when it's on my side? Because you know what? Forget about my side because that's what we talk about most of the time. Let's talk about your side.
Okay.
Do you
We do
think
talk about yours most of the time. It's true.
we either talk about my side or vice versa. When we're talking about you, we talk about your side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
basically,
yeah.
what I really want to know is from a tone perspective, how often do you think about the tone you're using when you're talking to me?
That's
How
what you
often do you
mean.
go through your
Yeah.
progressions and think
Right.
to yourself, if I have a tone like this, it's probably going to make that happen, or do you not really care about that? Like, so when I say how important is tone, I think sometimes we think about the tone you use with me. But what I really want to know is how important is tone in terms of how you use tone when you're talking to me? You understand what I'm saying?
Like how I think about tone when I'm talking to you?
Yes. Do
Like,
you
I
give
think
any thought?
about?
Do you give any thought to what tone you're going to have when you approach me about a particular thing?
Actually, I don't even think about. I don't think about what tone. Like, should I be here, or here? Or
Okay,
I don't.
okay.
You know what I do? I just say,
What?
I need to come straight up monotone. I need to
Okay.
just be straight. Babe,
I wanna make sure I'm calm.
Babe,
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
straight, just
Yes.
like I don't think about which tone should I use. It's like no tone.
Right. Make sure there's no tone.
Make sure there's zero tone
But the
right
point is
now.
you are still considering tone is the point. Though.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
How
yes,
often do you
yes.
do that?
Not often. I think only with issues that I could see could turn.
Possibly
You
be
know what I mean?
something,
Like
yes.
if it's a
Yes.
subject that I know you're sensitive,
Yes,
or if it is something that could potentially hurt your feelings,
Yes.
like that's when or that I know could start an argument.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I feel, and that doesn't happen often.
Right.
But I definitely think about it when it comes to certain topics.
I think about it often because we know, anybody that watches us knows that April's, one of her love languages is words of affirmation. And
And
that's-
tone has a lot to do with it.
It does. And that's pretty low on my list. So
John's like 0. Y'all.
yes. So I've had a lot of infractions in this area.
Yeah.
And so anytime that it's going to be something that might be a conflict, I think about my tone every single time. And I think more
How
than you
often?
think.
Like, would you say every day at some point you have to think about your tone?
No.
Okay.
No. Absolutely
That's good.
not. No. There is only there is only one time per month.
Oh, brother.
And I'm being serious now. There's only
Men
one.
always have to use this.
I'm sorry. My bad. But I'm saying.
It's not even.
Let's put it this way. That's the only thing that's consistent. I consistently have to consider my tone during that time of the month. That's the only time. Why is that a problem?
Because you don't even know when it's about to come. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, please put some respect on my name with this audience right here. I know when your period is coming and you don't even know.
That's true.
Thank you very much.
That's true.
So I am
You do
very
keep up with
attuned
that,
to that.
but you are.
I don't have it on my calendar or nothing. I can just tell. There's just some kind of ebb and flow to it where I kind of know. And for whatever reason, I consider tone during that time. Now, let me say this.
I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Now, let me just say this, though. You're not that hard. So honestly, it's not really that big of a deal. It's just I've got to make sure that I'm not careless or cavalier or too whatever, and I'm going to ask you about this we have a couple of minutes till we get there. I'm going to ask you about this after the break.
Okay.
But it really more so has to do with my natural tendency when it comes to disagreement is to focus on my words. And what I found over the years is my words mean very little. My tone means way more.
Let me tell you, tone can really turn things.
I agree.
And sometimes you have to analyze your tones.
Yes.
You have to figure out, and let me tell you what I did one time, y'all. I recorded myself. Not talking to John, but I was talking to my child.
Talking to John.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I recorded our and I was like, I'm not
Why
going to.
Why did you do that, by the way? I never asked you that.
Because I wanted to hear my tone.
But why? What made you say, let me see if I got a problem with John? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I get that if it was like me and you. I don't know why you would do that with him.
Well, because I couldn't understand why my kids get so
bent out of shape.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm just saying, I didn't even do nothing.
Right,
So I'm like, it's my tone. Let me record, and I'm not going to change my tone.
Okay.
Like I stayed,
Okay.
I didn't, how sometimes you're being recorded.
Yeah.
You're
not gonna act nice. Right.
And I heard myself, and I was like, gross.
Really?
I was like, wow, that sounds terrible.
Wow.
And I didn't even think that I had a tone to that level. Like,
Right,
I really didn't
right.
think. And then when I heard it, I was like, that does not sound good.
Right.
That tone is
Right.
really harsh.
Right.
Unnecessarily.
Right.
It was unnecessarily harsh. And I didn't think that I did because I didn't feel it. I didn't feel that I did. And when I heard it, I said,
That wasn't your intention.
that was
And
not
so,
my intention.
yeah.
And so I said, wow, I really need to watch this. And I think we might need to record ourselves every so often.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize your tone.
That's true.
You don't.
That's a good point.
Until you hear it.
Until you
and
hear
then
it
when
back,
you
you're
hear
like,
it, you say,
"Ooh."
man, I sound ugly.
So sometimes we may not even know. We may end up on the wrong end of an argument and try to figure out how did we get here.
And all it
may
was
have something
came
to
from
do
your
with the
tone.
way you actually approached it with your tone.
From your tone, man. And I'm saying for me, the tone is worse than the words.
Right.
You know
and
what I
that's what
mean?
I noticed with us. I've
Yeah.
noticed that you definitely pay, there's a higher premium on how I say what I say, because for you, how I say it conveys more than the words I actually said. At least that's how it's been in our situation.
For me.
Right.
And so I think you have to figure out what is it for you, what is it for your partner,
Right.
and then you adjust to that because, there were times when you would say to me, that's who I am.
Right. That was my go-to.
John's
This is who I
go-to
am. That's
was,
not-
I'm
yeah,
from New York.
right, that's what
This is who I am. This
Right.
is what we do.
Right.
Deal with it.
Right.
And I'm like, so you have no self-control. You have no ability to say, I'm going to watch my tone when I
Right.
say this particular thing, because
Right.
I actually had to do that with my children. Like I had to say, after I heard myself, I was like, I really need to watch my tone,
Yeah.
especially when I'm thinking my tone is good.
Right. Exactly. when you have every good intention.
Yeah, and then I go
you
back
end
and
up
listen,
jacking it
and I
up.
sound
Whoa.
like a wild beast, and I'm just like, what? Who is that?
All right, so I'm going to ask you when we come back from the break. I'm going to ask
Okay.
you a question specifically around like the importance of the actual words that I say. Okay?
Okay.
Live from Washington, D.C., you are listening to Just John and April on the Lance J Radio Network.
Just John and April, back at you.
Yeah.
excited
Come
about
on.
what we're talking about. I know there's certain topics that for some reason just kind of fit like what's going on in our actual lives almost every day. This is one of those.
It is.
So it's easy to talk about it. So before I ask you your question, you said you saw something, some kind of reel about a guy surprising his
Yes.
girlfriend
Oh my
or something like
goodness.
that.
I have to talk to you guys about this because I want to know how you feel. So I really want y'all to comment on this because, you know, with us being marriage, counselors, coaches, we are, John's constantly doing weddings where, we used to do premarital counseling all the time.
We don't anymore. Don't have enough time.
We don't have enough time, but I hate that too because I love it.
Right.
But, it takes a lot of time.
It does.
But after going through so many, coaching sessions with couples who are engaged and then seeing them get married and what happens after that, I look at these engagement things, y'all. It's like getting out of control.
Yes. The engagements,
And
like the setups for them
Yeah.
are bigger than weddings.
Now do what you do.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
However, let me just tell y'all
However.
real quick, because this was a long thing, so I'm not gonna go too much into it. But this guy was like a writer, and he pretended to write a script to come up with a
He wrote a script.
no, he wrote a script. Yeah, he wrote a script,
Yeah.
had a play,
Yeah.
had a casting call, all this
Yes.
stuff. And his girlfriend is an actress, and so she, I guess he introduces her. Hey, you should try out for this, or what? Not try out.
Yeah,
audition.
yeah, audition
No,
for it.
Not try out.
Yeah, they know what you
Not
mean.
basketball.
Yeah, that's true.
She auditioned for this. She went to audition, and he had a crew to be involved in this trick or
Right,
whatever,
right.
and they hired her to play this part.
Yes.
So then she had to come to meet the cast.
Yes.
Or who she was
Maybe
gonna be
like to
working
do a
with.
table read or something
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like
Whatever
that.
it was. Yeah.
And so she dressed up to come to this thing, and when she got there, music was playing as his live singer. Her whole family was there, and there he was standing, dressed up, ready to ask. And so she was all emotional. He asked or whatever, and I was just like, man.
So that's how he set it up to ask for her hand in marriage.
Yes.
This weeks long, elaborate
Other
plan.
people involved.
Yes.
I mean,
Complicated thing.
now I
Yeah.
think taking that time out shows how much he cares, how much he whatever.
At least that's what he was trying to
It
demonstrate.
could.
Yes, it
Yeah.
can show that. Yes.
So I was just thinking about it. I was like, man, we've seen other things. We've seen huge engagement parties and the whole thing where everybody goes to a location and it's just this big thing. You get married and then you're not happy.
Right.
Or things don't work out. And I
Right.
mean, of course, that happens. We know. But I'm just saying, like, why is it that people don't put in the work to prepare for marriage with that level of
tenacity.
excellency?
Right.
Okay, like I don't, it's like you do all that, but you didn't go through any kind of anything to help give you some clues as to what you're going to be preparing for, what you're preparing for a lifetime.
Right.
But you surely did put in a lot of work to ask this person to
Right,
marry you, and you
right,
ain't even
right.
at the wedding yet.
Right.
I mean,
right.
y'all, we've seen it where folks gone through all of that, and then they cut off. They don't even get married, and then they're
So-
embarrassed out of their wits.
Yes.
So it's
you're,
like,
you're
is
wondering
it-
now,
is
is there
it-
any correlation between how overboard people go
How overboard-
with the engagement and whether or not
And whether
the
or not
actual
you're actually-
wedding works out and the marriage, excuse me.
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Are you actually ready for marriage?
Right.
Did
That's
you
a good
prepare for
question.
that? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if that is, should I even be thinking? And I think because of the position that we're in as coaches,
I'd love
I
to
think
hear
it
from
makes-
people in the comments.
I would.
You may get some people being like, what you trying to say? We went all out and ours was dope.
No,
And
I
our
ain't
marriage is
saying
good too.
everybody. I'm not talking about everybody.
Right.
Okay, because some people do that and they prepare for marriage.
Right.
But I'm just saying, and even
You
these,
need to do both and.
yeah, even elaborate weddings,
Yeah.
and you didn't prepare.
Right. So you'll basically do
In
all of
some-
that and spend all that money and then probably not even get premarital counseling.
And you don't necessarily have to get premarital.
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
let
you
me
do.
take that back.
You don't have to get it with us, but you need to get it.
What I'm saying
You know
is
what I'm saying?
you need some type of coaching.
Oh, there's no question.
You know what I'm saying? You
Absolutely.
need something that gives you because some people are literally clueless
Yes.
as to what's going to happen.
That's
and they
true.
go in with rose-colored glasses.
Yes.
Is that what you say?
Yeah, that's what you say.
Okay.
Those
I didn't know if it was
rose-colored-
rose-colored eyes.
No. It's the glasses. You can take
Oh,
them on and
glasses,
off.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And then you're like, whoa. Because then you get in there and you and then somebody come with a tone, and then
Right.
you're like, hold up.
Exactly right. So you need to be spending more time on learning how to communicate.
Yes,
probably, in that situation.
Because you know what? It all boils down to it always end up back going every time.
Especially at the beginning.
It
It's about
always ends up
communication.
going back to communication.
It really does. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's bad.
Even
It
though
make-
that's like the go-to thing that people say, but it's because it's
it makes
real.
you sound like you're just
Like
cliche. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
But that is
cliches
what-
are
there
cliches for a reason.
Yes, it's true.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's get
Yeah.
to this question then. All right, because here's my dilemma. My dilemma is that I'm already an analytical person. We both know that.
Yes.
I get even more so during an argument or any kind of disagreement.
Yes.
So for me, I would say that the most important thing when we are having a disagreement, for me, is what we say. Like I spend most of my time
do.
saying, I didn't say that. That's
And
not what
spend
I
most of
said.
my time
I said
saying-
this.
And I spend most of my time saying that's not what I meant.
Correct. You say that the whole. That's not what I meant. Or you
That's
say
not
that's not
what I
what.
meant.
Well, that's not what you meant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Right,
most
right,
of our
right,
time.
right.
So what I think we're realizing, what we realized over the years, is that basically we have different values when it comes to that. I care way more about what you actually say, and you care a lot more about the tone. And here's the thing: this is the reality. No matter how I like to slice it, no matter what I say, the way I said it does matter. And I've
does,
realized that now. What
Yeah.
I used to think that was nothing, but what I realize now is, okay, so tone is like the tattletale.
Yes.
Okay.
I love that.
So what I said,
It's what you really.
there you go.
Yes.
What I said is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But the way I say it is the way
What
I
you really
feel
feel.
about it. And sometimes this is why you had to record yourself before you figured out
Yep.
this was going on.
Yep.
Because your tone tells on you.
It does.
It's the tattletale. Like
It's the tattletale. I like that,
you can
babe.
you can say to me, "Are you okay?" And I'll say, "Yeah, I'm fine." Now I just said, "Yeah, I'm fine," but my tone betrayed me.
And then
I said,
I'll
"I'm not
say-
fine."
and
My
then
tone just said that there's something wrong with me.
And then someone says, no, really, are you okay?
And then I'm like, "Nah, I'm fine." No, you're not. No, you're not.
Right.
Your tone just betrayed you. So
Yeah.
the reality is, when it really comes down to it, whether we're able to admit it or not, because it took me years to even admit this, I would spend most of our time when we argue talking about basically what my words were.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the reality is my tone. Okay, so here's my
Right.
question. My question is, like, do the words matter to you at all?
Of course.
How much do they matter? If
But
you're
they-
going to put a percentage on it, okay, remember the percentage that we tell people. We say that 93% of communication is nonverbal. We say
Yes.
55% is body language and then 38% is tone.
Yes.
Now, we got this from somewhere. We got this from a book, but we don't know how this guy
Because
came up
body
with this.
language and tone go together. to me.
Correct. Those are similar.
Because
I'm flailing my arms.
because they're
and all stuff.
nonverbal.
They're both nonverbal.
Yeah.
Yes. But my question is, do you think, for you, April Nixon, is 7% right? Is it about 7% of what you say is what matters in that situation when we're arguing? Now, obviously, when we're not arguing, it's totally different. But when we're having a disagreement, for you, is the actual words I say, are they that? Do they have that little bit of importance? The words I chose to say.
I think so. I really do. Because let me tell you why. Because when you take the tone and the body language out
Yes.
and you just say the words,
Yes.
I be like, oh, okay. Like, I get it.
So you're saying the words.
I can't fight with you. I can't.
Okay,
So I think they mean more. I think words mean more when you take away the body language and the tone.
I see.
I
You can
think I
actually
can
hear the words.
I can actually
as
hear
the
them
words.
and understand what you're saying when you take those things away. Now, when you give the tone and body language, it gives me more.
Yes.
It's a tattletale, like you said.
Yes.
It gives me more insight as to
Yes.
how you really feel
Yes.
deep down.
Yes.
But when you just give me the words, I can actually just get your analytical brain,
Yes.
mind, and how you are thinking about the situation.
This is why
So-
we give people this advice, which we've done it for years. We did it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We stumbled across it ourselves, and we tell people to do all the time. Sometimes, especially when it comes to certain types of arguments that you keep having, the recurring ones where you guys have trouble getting over it, maybe where you even have gridlock, where it's like, we don't even want to talk about this because we
Yeah.
know we're not going to agree.
We know where it's gonna go.
We know where it's
Yeah.
going to stop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we're not going to get past that point. Those are the kind of arguments you guys should try writing to each other.
Yes.
So
we
you don't-
always say that because
We used to do it in actual letters.
Yep.
We're writing on a piece of paper
Right.
back in the
Now
day.
we text.
Now we text each other. Yeah.
and we've emailed before.
We've emailed too.
We've emailed
Yes.
before
Yes.
because there's no body language or tone.
There you go.
There's no body language or tone.
So now what comes across is just what you're actually trying to say.
Yeah.
Instead of all of the feelings that come behind it that are probably explosive.
Now, I would say that there are some words that can give body language and tone.
Of course there are.
So,
which is why you
no
avoid those
cursing.
words.
We say no cursing.
Right, exactly.
No
They
cussing.
Yeah.
Can't be cussing, okay? No cussing because
No name calling.
No name calling
Yes.
because that's where your words that are written can have its own tone.
Correct. Yes. So that even when you write, you're trying to do it tone free.
Yes,
basically.
because actually you can have tone in, we know it's tone in writing because that's
Yes.
a part of writing.
Of
I
course.
teach that. There's
Yeah.
tone.
Yeah.
So you can actually have tone in writing, but I think that it's easier to take away tone in writing than
It
it
is.
is in you
In
because your
talking.
emotions take
Yes.
over.
Yes.
And it comes out even when you're not trying.
Yeah, you're trying to just talk regular.
You're trying to
Here
just
you
say
are
the
cussing
words.
out your son, you know what I'm saying? And recording it.
Here you are smacking your teeth and
Right,
rolling your head and eyes and all that. You know,
and your
that
neck.
I don't roll my neck.
You don't. That's true. But people of your ilk do. But you don't. That's true.
Yes, yes.
You do roll your eyes though.
I do.
So this is great. I
Yeah.
think we've come to a breakthrough tonight.
Yes.
Well, maybe it's daytime. Whatever the case is, we've come to a breakthrough
Yeah.
for us that we have to maintain the importance of tone, whether we want to admit it or not. The reality is, tone does actually matter.
So you have to assess, you have to look at yourself and see, am I one that is causing more conflict because I can't get a hold of my nonverbal?
There you go. If you can get a hold of the nonverbal, that's gonna make a difference.
It will.
Well, what's the word of the day? Because I think the word of the day today is apropos.
Yes,
It actually.
I agree. And I like the word of the day because it's apropos. The word of the day is convey. Convey, which
Convey.
means make an idea, impression, or feeling known or understandable to someone.
We want to really lean into this one
Okay.
because when you say communicate, sometimes that word doesn't actually convey what it needs to convey. The word convey is better only because we say, if you're trying to make an idea or an impression or feeling known and understandable, then the way that I give it to you, not just what I say, matters.
That's right. The way I convey the message.
Exactly right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, and I was telling John when we talked about this word, I'm trying to get you to know something and understand what I'm saying.
Right.
To have knowledge of my feelings.
Yes.
And to also understand them.
You're trying to basically take your feelings out of you and put them in me so that I feel them. That's
Yes.
really what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You're trying to get me to feel what you're feeling.
So that then you understand, and then there can be some resolution, because I think resolution comes once we understand the other.
Correct.
To the point of, oh, I get it.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, understanding is such an important part of what we do that sometimes that solves it.
It's true.
Like when I feel,
Just the
listened
fact
to, or
that you
understood.
just the fact that you can understand where I'm coming from. That's it. That's all I want you to do is
Before we
understand.
actually resolve the real
Yeah.
issue, that right there does so much for
But
you.
you know, we could go into another conversation, and
course.
that is once you've conveyed the feelings,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I know them now and I understand them. And now we feel like we have been able to resolve that. We can now, you can now change
True.
without having an attitude about it, without having a resentful, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Because now I understand, so I'm not going into this as this person's trying to make me change or make me do. It's like I get what they're saying, so I see why they need me to do this. Or
It
that or
opens
the
your
other.
heart, babe.
It really does.
It really does.
It does.
So gaining understanding, but understanding comes through good communication. So
Yes.
sometimes it's about conveying the right thing. I
Yeah,
just
man.
want to make it so that what I'm feeling is what you feel now.
And if you're conveying it in a way that seems like it is either I'm trying to control you, or I don't like you, or you get on my nerves, or you know what I'm saying, you irritate me.
Which tone conveys.
Tone conveys
even if you
all
never
of
say
that.
those words.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be willing to change my attitude or my behavior
Right.
if I know you're coming at me in a way that says I don't like you.
Right.
I'm telling you.
That's true.
And I've heard
You just changed somebody's whole marriage.
Let me tell you something. I've heard people say stuff like, he never or she never will change, or she'll never do what it is that I need her to do. And I would say, how are you conveying
Right.
your attitude about, your
Right.
feelings about this? How
Right.
are you communicating?
Right. Yeah.
Because that makes a huge difference.
Makes a difference, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, hopefully this helps you guys.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next
Fun,
week.
Fun conversation.
Yes, it is. Definitely. Let's go and convey some tones.
Oh my goodness. Bye, guys.
See you next time.